Well, then, on the morning of October 31st, 2021, at 3:30 a.m., Alpo was shot and killed in Harlem while sitting in his 2017 Dodge Ram. He was shot 5 times. I guess he tried to get away and was throwing drugs out the window, so I guess he had gotten back into drug dealing, which still kind of blows my mind to this day.
It doesn't blow minds.
Yeah.
He was doing what they wanted him to do.
Yeah. But ultimately, by the time the ambulance arrived, he was pronounced dead. When you first heard the news that Alpo had gotten killed in Harlem, what did you think?
Well, I suspected that it was only going to happen. Like, him coming back and being who he was just showing me who people are. Like, for people to receive him the way that they received him and let him be the way that he was, knowing, like you said, was just like, wow. And I had a lot of years of God showing me people. And in that instant, I was learning who people really were. So when I heard that he got killed, I mean, that was being rumored for a minute too. Like, they was telling me, yo, I heard. I say, until somebody bring me his heart, leave me alone. I didn't give my energy to that. And when I heard that he got killed, and it was real, cause I didn't believe it right away. But when I knew that it was real, it was like a release came over me. Like, I was so relieved. Because for a long time, I was walking around dreading that I didn't see him. He was being places where if I hadn't been, I went and they'd be like, yo, and I'm like, wow. I just prayed to never bump into him. And when it happened, I was just happy to know that I can finally walk around and not have that shadow over me about, am I going to bump into him? Am I going to see him? Is this going to be a approach? I was just relieved to know that part is over for me with him and my brother Richard. And I prayed that Richard felt peace at that time.
So you felt some closure at that point?
Yes, with Richard.
Yeah. Well, your daughter, who is actually here in the room with us, who is also AZ's daughter, she spoke about it. She said, we waited for a long time for this day to come, and we are happy. That's why we're out here celebrating, drinking champagne. Everybody's reaction right now is celebrating. It's a celebration for Harlem, period. Every dog has their day. Now my uncle can finally rest in peace 32 years later. It's just that the pain my mother has felt all these years, I've been feeling the pain with her. Every dog has their day, and today was his. I believe in karma, and I'm glad that I was here to witness it.
Well said.
Well said.
But I want to be clear. I hated the fact that people were saying we were celebrating his death. We were celebrating our peace.
Yeah.
It's a difference. Yeah, we might have been, finally, it happened. But in reality, what I can honestly say, we were given a big celebration to us finally being able to be rid of it, in a sense.
So you guys actually celebrated and drank champagne and the whole night?
Yes, we did.
Good for you.
It's a burden.
Yeah, of course.
It's a burden to think that you could bump it. He was just so free in Harlem. I never wanted to see him. I despised people that were receiving him, some, not all, because some of them already had relationships and I clearly had to come to grips and understand. But for those who was just doing it just for no reason, that I felt like before this man arrived, your loyalty stood with my brother, y'all don't ever have to worry about me again.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can tell you one thing, that when he died, you didn't see too many rest in pieces or he's somewhere up there looking down at us. You didn't hear a lot of that. If you are religious.
That tells the character of a man.
Right. If you're religious, you probably assume that he was in hell.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like that tells you right there that it was a divide. It was Rich. It was him. And it showed the character of a man. At my brother's funeral, the flowers overflowed. At my brother's funeral, when I looked back to see the cars, it was crazy. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's who Richard was. Regardless to whatever anybody have to say negatively about him, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
We're all human. We all have a life to live. His was his and his was his.